Hello everyone, welcome to the Ferreira Lakers News channel. Without further ado, let's get to more Lakers news, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. 5 potential trade targets from the Lakers' downfall for the Dallas Mavericks. Jackson Hayes. A backup big should be a priority of the Dallas front office. Behind talented rookie Derek Lively too, the Mavericks are quite thin. Center Dwight Powell is serviceable, but at this point in his career, he's better suited for a third-string role. Adding Jackson Hayes to the center platoon would be a quality, low-key addition. Although Hayes isn't a clear upgrade over Powell, he's a 7-foot big with a lottery pedigree. 2 seasons ago, in New Orleans, Hayes averaged 9.3 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 0.8 blocks while shooting 61.6% from the floor. Over the past 2 seasons, his impact has lessened, but he's still just 23 years old. This season, the former Longhorn is averaging career lows across the board. His fit in Los Angeles is iffy at best. And he's recently found himself outside of the rotation. The Lakers lack spacing and Hayes is at his best in a free-flowing offense with room to operate. He works best as a rim runner, alike Lively too. Hayes has a unique combination of size and athleticism. Playing alongside Doncic would do wonders for his game. Additionally, Hayes would likely suit up next to Grant Williams with the reserve unit. While he's not shooting it like he did to begin the year, Williams is still a capable floor spacer. All in all, Hayes is likely one of the easiest Lakers to poach. Already out of the rotation, a new home might come sooner rather than later for the former 8th overall pick. Cam Reddish. There can be no shortage of 3-and-D wings in Dallas. The Mavericks already roster Derek Jones Jr., Grant Williams, Josh Green, and Dante Exum, but there's room for more. Cam Reddish being described as a 3-and-D is a bit of a stretch, but his potential remains relatively high. This season Reddish is knocking down 0.8 of 2.7 three-point attempts per game. He's only shooting 39% from the floor and 30.8% from downtown, but his defense has been stellar. Reddish ranks in the 70th percentile in defensive rating and is an immense help to the Lakers team's defense when he hits the hardwood. His offensive contributions are less than stellar, but likely a product of the poor spacing in Los Angeles. Increasing spacing and open looks isn't always the cure-all for subpar shooters. However, the Mavericks are a perfect example of what increased spacing does for historically poor shooters. Mavericks forward Jones Jr. has never been known as a good shooter. That is, until this season. The high-flying wing is knocking down a career-high 35.4% of deep attempts. He's also never averaged more than 0.7 three-pointers per game in his career. This year, Jones Jr. is making 1.5 threes per contest. For instance, Jones Jr. is shooting 1.4 more three-pointers per game than Reddish. But he's shooting 1.7 more wide-open three-pointers than Reddish per game. If Reddish were to get the same wide-open volume Jones Jr. does, expect his percentage to rise. Unlike Hayes, Reddish has been starting and playing at least 25 minutes per game since November. With the Lakers reeling, a lineup change might be in store. And Reddish may be the player affected, thus leading to a potential trade out of Los Angeles. Taurean Prince. Now here's a true 3-and-D player. Lakers forward Taurean Prince is knocking down 2.2 three-pointers per game on 39.2% shooting. His defense may not be as good as Cam Reddish's, but he's the far superior offensive player at this point in his career. Prince is a reliable shooter who's shown more of a willingness to settle for spot-up looks this season than ever before. 86.7% of his twos and 93.2% of his threes are assisted. He's typically been a spot-up shooter and opportunistic cutter, but he's relying on the three-ball more than ever. Almost 70% of his looks are coming from beyond the arc. His presence in the Los Angeles lineup is almost a necessity at this point. On the other hand, the Lakers seem to be open to improving the roster in any way. And that could mean shipping out Prince. The Baylor product is a quality addition to any team in the association. His role in Dallas would be almost identical to his role in Los Angeles. Prince would continue to work as a spot-up shooter, settling in the corner, ready to get off an open look. The 6'6" forward is capable of defending either forward spot, yet another archetype Dallas covets. The Mavericks currently use Derek Jones Jr. and Grant Williams to defend opposing forwards. Prince's addition to the rotation would increase defensive versatility a step further. Although 30-plus minutes for Prince may be too much, considering his low usage rate and player efficiency rating, a 15 to 20 minute in Dallas would be better suited for the former Baylor Bear. Gabe Vincent. Is the Miami Heat effect real? It seems too often that former Heat players fall off in new roles after signing lucrative new contracts. Hassan Whiteside, Tyler Johnson, Josh Richardson, and Kendrick Nunn are a few names who excelled in Miami, but failed to make a name for themselves with other organizations. It's far too early to call Gabe Vincent a bust in Los Angeles, but his early season results were putrid. In 5 games, Vincent averaged 5.4 points, 1.0 rebounds, and 3.0 assists on unsightly shooting splits. In his brief tenure in Los Angeles, Vincent shot 37.5% from the field and 11.8% from downtown. Likely, we won't see the former Miami guard until late February, thus making him even more of a question mark. Nevertheless, Vincent should be on the Dallas Mavericks' radar to fill a need at backup point guard. He fits the Seth Curry mold, as an undersized guard who operates as more of a catch-and-shoot player rather than a ball-handling lead guard. Despite being closer to a 2 guard, Vincent would fulfill a lesser-known need for the Mavericks, a third ball handler. While at least one of Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving is on the court at all times, having a tertiary playmaker is important. Vincent toes the line between spot-up shooter and secondary ball handler, but he fits the bill as a lead guard in spurts. In instances where Doncic or Irving is unavailable, having Vincent would alleviate players like Jaden Hardy or Tim Hardaway Jr. taking on lead guard responsibility. Out of all the Lakers on this list, Vincent might be the easiest to poach. Los Angeles has all but forgotten about Vincent as he sat on the bench for the majority of the season. And with Vincent's timetable for return set after the trade deadline, his time in Southern California appears limited. LeBron James. More of a pipe dream at this point, LeBron James has been a rumored target for the Dallas Mavericks for some time now, ever since Kyrie Irving tried to recruit him last summer. Adding James to a lineup of Luka Doncic and Irving likely wouldn't mesh well, but it's worth a try. Irving won an NBA championship with James on the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. The Dallas guard has what it takes to play alongside multiple stars. He's an extremely malleable player who can be used as a secondary playmaker or spot-up shooter. However, a Doncic-James pairing is far more difficult to envision. Both players are far better with the ball in their hands. Doncic rarely scores from assists, as he prefers to probe the lane or take 3-pointers off the dribble. James has become more of a spot-up scorer as he's approached retirement, but he's still a dominant on-ball scorer. Still, less than half of James' 2-point attempts are unassisted. And at 39 years old, James ranks in the top 20 in the NBA in usage rate. Acquiring James from the Lakers seems like an impossible task, especially for the Mavericks, but crazier things have happened. And with the Lakers in complete disarray, it's likely some rumblings of James' unhappiness begin soon. Teaming back up with Irving may be just enough to lure James from Los Angeles. It appears the Lakers star will ultimately have his pick of what team he takes his talents to, but don't discount the Mavericks. Just a few months ago, the Mavericks had the best odds of acquiring the all-time great. What the Hawks want from the Lakers to trade Dejount Murray? With the Lakers having lost 4 consecutive games and 8 of their last 10, the team is at its lowest point of the season. The only positive is that there is still time to make a change. Darvin Ham continues to emphasize patience, and while his job reportedly isn't in jeopardy, losses like Friday's at home against the Grizzlies don't help. Regardless of whether the Lakers make a coaching change, the question is, does this team have enough on the roster to win? If Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Rob Pelinka believes the answer is no, then a trade needs to be made to improve the roster and give LeBron James and Anthony Davis a shot at the title. Price for Murray is very high. As usual, every player of value has been linked to the Lakers, but one name has started to make more noise in recent weeks, and that player is Dejount Murray. The price for the Atlanta Hawks point guard is high. As reported by Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report, the Hawks want more than just Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Any kind of trade centered around Dejount Murray would likely include Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. For the Atlanta Hawks, that simply wouldn't be enough. The Lakers have interest, but the Lakers' problem is that they need more pieces that are attractive for the Atlanta Hawks. It appears a trade is still far from likely given the amount Atlanta is asking for. The Lakers reportedly haven't included Reeves in any trades to date, so asking for him and Hachimura and wanting more seems like a stretch. However, that's how trading works, so it's something to watch out for. Maybe the Lakers will concede, or maybe the Hawks will concede for less if the market isn't favorable for Murray. One thing is for sure, the Lakers need to start winning games quickly, otherwise some kind of movement is inevitable. You can't waste another season with Davis and James playing at a high level.